What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today we're talking about the new Lews Speed Spool RX. I've been fishing this for a couple months and I'll give you my honest opinion of it right now. Thanks everyone for watching. As you know, we do a lot of tackle reviews, a lot of unboxings, things like that. And then once I'm actually out there fishing with this stuff, I talk about the products and do a more detailed review. And that's what I'm doing here with this new Speed Spool RX. Now, I've done a similar video of the new XL reel, which is about 80 bucks, the KVD Elite, which has the Paramag braking system like the Speed Spool RX that we'll talk about, and then the RX right here, the Speed Spool RX. So this is a $180 reel. So it's really, in my opinion, meant to go head to head with, your Tatulas and your Corrados and, your Revo STX, those reels from the other brands, in that price point, that under 200, really, let's say 150 to 200. That's a really competitive price point, and there's some really good reels in that lineup, including this, the Speed Spool RX. So like I said, it has the Paramag braking system. It's basically just a really good casting reel. There's times when you cast it and you don't even have to touch the spool, which is really impressive. It's almost like a DC. It's not a DC reel per se, but just that braking system slows down, kind of adjusts to your cast, and it really does work. I don't know all the science behind it, but that's a really impressive feature. I like it in the KVD Elite, and I really like it in this Speed Spool RX. Now the reel, again, like I said, it's 180 bucks, so not like super cheap, but it's a really fair price for what it is, because it's a quality reel that casts really well. It comes in 4 different options as far as gear ratios for right-handed. Unfortunately, just one gear ratio for the left-handed, the 7.5 to 1. You see I have a righty here, but I really like left-handed reels. Personally, that's my choice. I use both, but just for the lefties out there, there's only one option. Still a good all-around speed, that 7.5 to 1, but really it's nice to have options. So for righties, you got a lot more choices, but lefties, left-handed reel users are just not as common. It's really common on the West Coast. It's common for, people that like to cast and not switch hands. There's a lot of benefits for that, but that's a whole nother story. I've done videos on that. But getting back to the reel, a couple other features I liked. I mean, besides the casting, it's just super smooth. It's got aluminum gearing. It's also got a one-piece aluminum frame that feels really sturdy. It also has 20 pounds of drag, and that's quite a bit. You're really never going to use that. You're obviously not going to catch many 20-pounders unless you're, fishing for stripers or something like that, but it's more than enough drag. That's plenty drag for any bass fishing application. I personally have used this really mainly as a topwater reel. I've had a lot of instances recently where the fish come up schooling, like way out there, and you just can't reach them with, a lot of reels. But this does cast really well. Casting with baits like a Sammy that do cast well, paired with this and the right rod, the right line, you can reach those fish. And I've been really having fun catching those early morning topwater schoolers, and this reel has definitely helped, again, just because of the casting distance. But I've also been using it a bunch for casting shallow to targets, still with topwaters, things like that, but it's very accurate. And again, it's because of that braking system. I personally haven't really done much to it as far as adjustments. There's a knob on here, basically it's just 1 through 10. I have it on a 4 right now, so not overly, slowing it down, or not like a free spool. So that's kind of what I put it at, and I haven't touched it, but it is really easy to adjust. Let's take a look inside of here so you can actually see the braking system. You can see that's the Paramag braking system right there, if you could see that. I don't know exactly what they do, how it works, but it does work. But out of the 3 reels from Lews, the new ones, the XL, the KVD and Elite, and the Speed Spool RX, I have to say this is my favorite. I really like that KVD Elite. It's a little bit lower price than this one. It's a red reel, but this is a higher end reel. And it also has 8 bearings. Now, I've stressed this in a lot of videos. It's not about the actual number of bearings. It's about the quality of the bearings. But this reel seems to have pretty good bearings. I mean, the real test is going to be, how it's going to perform in a year or two. But really impressed with this. And I think it does compete with the Corrados of the world and the Tatulas and things like that. This is Lews' answer to that kind of mid-range reel. Not too expensive, but still an expensive reel. Really good looking quality reel, got comfortable knobs on here. Really no complaints with the Speed Spool RX so far. I really like it. So that is the Speed Spool RX with the Paramag braking system, which I think is they've hit a home run with it. It does work, it casts great. So snap that back in there. I have kind of trouble figuring that thing out, but really quality reel. Again, looks good, smooth, casts great. Really like it. And if you're a Lews fan, definitely check it out, the Speed Spool RX, 180 bucks. I'll put the link down below.